WD-40 for that? Okay. We've got some good stuff tonight. We got some proclamations that we're going to put forth. The first one is a proclamation recognizing September 17th as Constitution Day and September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Whereas the United States Constitution maintains American liberties, freedoms, and inalienable rights. Whereas the daughters of the American Revolution and Americans alike have celebrated the Constitution through the observance of Constitution Week since 1956. When signed into law by President Eisenhower, and whereas September 17, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. Now therefore be it proclaimed, we the City Council of the City of TGK do hereby recognize September 17, 2025 as Constitution Day and September 17th through September 23rd as Constitution Week. If you would please, Ms. Hamilton. Thank you. Appreciate it. Just want to make sure I'm on the right track here. We don't have so many tonight, so, I can't shuffle them. All right. It's a proclamation recognizing October 5th as Fire Prevention Week. Whereas for over 125 years, the National Fire Protection Association, the NFPA, has shared knowledge and information with regards to public safety to encourage preparedness, prevention, and reduce risk to communities. Whereas since 1922, the NFPA has sponsored Fire Prevention Week to educate children, adults, and teachers on how to stay safe in the case of a fire. Whereas this year's Fire Prevention Week campaign is Charge into Fire Safety, lithium-ion batteries in your home, which aims to educate everyone about using these batteries safely and stresses the importance of buying, charging, and recycling lithium-ion batteries safely. And whereas in conjunction with Fire Prevention Week, the TGK Fire Department will host their annual open house on October 4th. Now therefore be it proclaimed, we, the City Council of the City of TGK, do hereby recognize October 15th through October 11th as Fire Prevention Week and encourage all to attend the Fire Department's open house to meet the firefighters, learn about the fire station operations, and participate in safety activities and games. If you would, Chief Hasty. This is our fire chief, everybody, just in case you didn't know. Isn't he a good-looking guy? Okay, we brought this one back because Tim couldn't be here last time. So we appreciate you being here tonight, Tim. So this is a proclamation recognizing the City of TGK as a 2024 Tree City USA and Tim Gillette for his dedication as the city's arborist. Whereas trees provide countless benefits to our community, including cleaner air and water, energy savings, increased property values, improved mental and physical health, and enhanced natural beauty. Whereas the City of TGK has officially named 2024 a Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation in recognition of its commitment to effective urban forest management and exemplary dedication to community forestry. Whereas the city has demonstrated its long-term investment in a healthy urban forest through professional planning, sustained funding, and public engagement in tree care and conservation. And whereas Tim Gillette, serving as the city's arborist, has shown outstanding leadership and tireless dedication in managing the health and sustainability of our public trees, guiding the community in meeting Tree City USA standards and inspiring a culture of environmental stewardship and civic pride. Now, therefore, we, the City Council of the City of TGK, do hereby proclaim and recognize and celebrate the city's designation as a 2024 Tree City USA, and extends its sincere gratitude and commendation to Tim Gillette for his exemplary service, expertise, and unwavering commitment to protecting and enhancing the urban forest for the benefit of current and future generations. Thank you, Tim. Everybody bear with me. Okay. Seeing as we have no public comments tonight, we will. See, I don't have, oh, okay. Part D. I'm sorry, my computer's still coming up. All right, we'll go to the city manager's report. If you would, please, Mr. Funderburk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Start with our Development Services Department. The Grove property is expected to have their Phase 1 stormwater BMPs completed and in place by the end of this week. Once these are installed, additional grading can proceed, which will move the project closer to establishing buildable areas. Staff has coordinated with the developer to have the ribbon cutting, or excuse me, the groundbreaking on October 1st, 11 a.m. Their team is handling the formal invitations, which should be sent out very soon. And that will be on the Dam Road side of the property, is what we're being told, over where the old Miller Salvage Yard site used to be. Unfortunately, our contracted inspections company, CC&I, has decided to discontinue their services for the city as the workload is just overwhelming them. But we are in discussions with two other companies to have an alternative solution in place sooner rather than later. So working through that process now. The Business Connect meeting with our EDC is going to be on September 17th. And I suspect Ms. Miller may have that as part of one of her committee commission reports. So I'll leave it at that, but it is coming up on the 17th. And I'll let Mayor Pro Tem Miller get into more details there. We also invite everyone out to attend a drop-in open house on September 30th from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock here in the council chambers for a comprehensive plan update, specifically to be able to learn about and provide input for future land use as part of that comp plan update. So again, that's September 30th from 4 to 6 here in the council chambers. In our fire department, on September 11th, the department held a very nice 9/11 remembrance gathering at the Living Memorial Gardens. They want to thank everyone who was able to join us out there in honoring the lives lost, reflecting on the events of that day, and recognizing the lasting impact that continues to be felt in our communities. In a little bit lighter news, the department will be hosting an open house to kick off Fire Prevention Week. They'll be doing that on October 4th from 10 until noon over at Fire Station 1 on Stonecrest Boulevard. The theme this year is lithium battery safety. We'd like to encourage everyone to come out and enjoy us and join us at that festivity. It should be a great time. As a safety reminder, and unfortunately, due to some recent tragic events in other parts of the state, with individuals being struck while working on or near roadways, I'd like to urge all drivers to slow down and move over when approaching anyone working in the roadway or in the right-of-way. This includes first responders, utility crews, construction workers, tow operators, and the like. Please help keep everyone safe by giving them the space they need to do their jobs. Parks Recreation, our sports programs have officially started last week. I'd like to thank all of our volunteer coaches as our programs rely on their dedication to those youth programs and the success we're having there. The river access debris cleanup is currently underway, and we anticipate completion probably sometime this week or next. Our Parks and Rec staff have completed several park projects, including updating irrigation and new side over at the Memorial Gardens. We're doing a great job of beautification throughout the city, and it's very, very evident, and we appreciate their efforts there. Catawba Fest is only 2 weeks away. It's on September the 27th at Catawba Park from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. There will be vendors, food trucks, eating competitions, and a golf cart show, brand new to that event this year. So see our website for additional details. Speaking of events, the final Music in the Park concert is Saturday, October 11th at Catawba Park, featuring Queen Nation. And Carolina has also begun the search for Booze and Ghouls trunk or treat tailgaters. So if you would like to be a tailgater and pass out candy for our annual Booze and Ghouls, please contact Carolyn Hasty, our events manager, to find out how to sign up and get more information on that. With the police department, I'd like to encourage everyone to join them for their upcoming events, including Coffee with a Cop on Wednesday, October 1st from 8:30 to 9:30 at TKK Coffee Company, and the 11th Annual Camp Cadet Golf Tournament on October 10th. All that information is on the Police Department Facebook page to sign up to play or to donate to that very worthwhile cause. Thank you to everyone for joining us in honoring Lieutenant Lauren Galloway and turning the city teal this past month. If you've seen the teal ribbons around and whatnot, that represents ovarian cancer and is a nod to the late Lieutenant Galloway. Monthly crime stats, needless to say, they are staying busy in our police department. 445 calls for service over the past month, 50 incident reports, 3,043 property checks, 447 traffic stops, 14 parking citations, 11 vehicle collisions, 28 custodial arrests, and 6 DUI arrests. And our average response time is down from last month to 3 minutes and 54 seconds. And they still found time to host 4 community events. So good job with that department. Public Works, our Public Works team has completed removal of trees in one section of the Windward Median. The existing trees were removed to protect the recent repaving of Windward Drive and used as an opportunity to beautify the area with updated landscaping. The new plantings will begin later this week and continue through the next couple of weeks as we work around utilities that are in that median and things like that. So you'll probably see them out there this week doing a lot of potholing and making sure that we're not hitting power lines and water lines and things like that as we go to plant those. So looking forward to that project continuing forward. In our utilities department, we have received approval from South Carolina RIA, which is the Rural Investment Authority, or Rural Infrastructure Authority, sorry, with their grant, and finalized a fully executed contract with Harper Construction to begin wastewater treatment plant upgrades. Mobilization is scheduled to begin in early January. So just trying to time all that around the rain seasons and things like that with having to take plants offline and things of that nature in order to get the work done. In addition, the team recently installed new electrical panel at Beaver Run Lift Station, and the Scullers Run Lift Station piping was upgraded today. So they're staying after it. And recently, the team completed a sewer force main repair on Reliance Court and continues to stay busy with ongoing water line repairs and replacements throughout the city. And it's just a busy time for them, for sure. And that concludes my report, unless council has any questions.
Just one point of clarity, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The Booze and Ghouls, that's B-O-O-S, right? Not B-O-O-Z-E.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
I noticed some young ladies taking notes down front here. I want to make sure they go back with the right information.
Booze as in ghost.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Funderburk. And we'll go with the rest of our commission reports. Start with the Planning Commission, if you would, please, Councilman Carter.
Yes, sir, it's your thing. The Planning Commission had their meeting on September 8th. There was a quorum that was present. There was public comments. The individuals that own the property on Hubert Graham and Gold Hill wanted to discuss the problems that they were having with selling that property over there. They did approve their meeting minutes from their August meeting. And then the comprehensive plan update, that was the most of their meeting. They had 3 different focus groups that they talked about. The Marina Overlay District, they had conversations about reducing the overlay district as a whole. And then the second one was the Hubert Graham and the Gold Hill Road focus group that they had, with adding possibly like a hotel or more green space or parks and rec amenity or something like that. And then the third group, the Dam Road and Gardendale Road focus group, they had a lot of concern in regards to connectivity with the areas that are being developed and all that kind of stuff. Just so you guys know, these are just conversations that we're doing during the comprehensive plan upgrade, the focus groups, and nothing has been set in stone right now. So these are just things that are just being considered. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Our Economic Development Commission, if you would, Mrs. Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. The EDC met on August 25th and had a quorum. They also had some detailed discussion around the comprehensive plan and the focus group meeting that happened on the 20th of August. The discussion at EDC centered around the Windhaven development, Gardendale, Dam Road areas, the Grove, Main Street, and also the Marina overlay. They also discussed some of those focus group tables that happened during that August 20th meeting. And like Councilman Carter said, none of those are comprehensive plan discussions. They are not planning discussions. They're ideas that are being presented as possibilities for something that could happen over the next 10 years. The next EDC Business Connect will be on the 17th. I'm sorry, on September 30th at 7 p.m. And Leanne Lordo, who is the CFO and the Assistant Superintendent for Fort Mill School District, will be the keynote speaker, and it will be at the Glennon Center starting at 7 p.m. Every TKK business is invited to attend. It's really a great networking opportunity if you are a TKK business to connect with other businesses. If you're thinking about being a TKK business, that would also be a really good opportunity to connect. The one other discussion was in doing exit interviews. We've had a couple of businesses that have closed over the last couple of months or so that are TKK businesses, and interviewing those, and even extending it to outside of TKK. Village Pizza came up as a conversation, just to see what is causing and what other businesses can learn from that. There is a Facebook page for TKK, for the EDC and TKK Connects, and it's TKK Business Connections. If you would like to get more information about the EDC or about the Business Connect quarterly meetings, that is a really good place to go to. Overall, it's a wonderful opportunity to network as a business and get connected. Thank you.
Thank you. Our Stormwater and Environmental Committee, Ms. Heather Jones, if you would, please.
Good evening, everyone. So the Stormwater and Environmental Committee met on Monday, September 8th, and we had a discussion of two projects that we've been looking at for the committee to undertake. The first was an Adopt a Stream program, which is a national program that our city liaison, Ben Buchanan, had brought to us as a possibility for possibly implementing here in TKK, as something that we might undertake sort of spearheading to get started. For the current time, it's a much larger scale project, so there's training that's involved. There's a lot of different steps that you have to go through to apply. So we currently have one of our committee members, Maureen Norcutt, is going to attend a local training in October to just get a better feel for that. But the general consensus for the group was that we're going to kind of set that one to the side, work through the steps, and see sort of how it pans out just because of what's involved with it. And we felt it wasn't necessarily the priority for the number of streams we have in the city versus, like, say, one of our neighbors in Fort Mill. They've got a significantly larger number of streams they manage and have to oversee. The second project is one that is actually sort of a homegrown idea that the committee's been discussing over our last couple meetings, which is an Adopt a Drain program. So a lot of the adjacent stormwater programs to us in Rock Hill and Fort Mill have drain marker programs where they go out and people help to identify and mark their different drains as part of their public system with these brass markers. Which we have been looking at in terms of affordability and what that would entail for us as a city to also do that. But the idea has been floated that we could expand that to include Adopt a Drain. So residents, groups in the community would be able to basically say, we want to take care of this specific drain. And what that would entail is going out before storms if we know storms are coming, when we get those bad weather alerts that go off on your phone every 10 seconds when the weather service kicks off, to check on them, to make sure they're clear ahead of time, and then also going out after storms have passed, for example, to try and clear them ahead of time, ahead of the city going out to do the clearing that they already do. And I appreciate Councilmember Shirley was there because Councilmember Heislip wasn't able to be there, and we appreciate him sitting in. Sort of asked us, well, what would the goal be? And there were a couple things we pointed to. Is first, sort of a community buy-in to helping to take care of our community as the residents, because we already have people doing this naturally. You might see people posting about the different drains they go and take care of on the different social media groups. So sort of formalizing that as an option and engaging groups like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, other people who might want to step in to help create that investment in caring for our community, which hopefully will have, and no pun intended at the time, but now pun intended, a downstream effect on helping to keep things out of our drains, helping to deal with other issues that we see with coves silting in and other impacts that have been reported to us by citizens. So we are in the research phase for that in terms of pricing it, and Councilmember Shirley had some great ideas for ways to fund it and things that might be from other areas that he was familiar with, and then people on our committee as well. So we will hopefully have something a little more concrete after our next meeting that we can bring, but we're looking and having those discussions with the city about what would it take to actually execute this, what do we want it to look like, and what do we think the residents would find appealing and want to help with. So that was our two big things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. That would bring it to me for the steering committee for the comprehensive plan. We did have a quorum. We approved the minutes, and we discussed our focus group material as far as suggestions and things that would be warranted in the city for the Mizuta property on Gold Hill at Hubert Graham, Main Street, and our Catawba Park area, as well as the marina. With the marina, we discussed possible, all kinds of possible different scenarios as far as adjusting the property, residential. Do we divide the property as far as a commercial? And what does that look like for everyone? Also discussed future development for Hubert Graham Way and what that would look like for the city as a gateway to our community and what that impact could be for everyone. Also, we discussed some Main Street ideas as far as what folks wanted to see incorporated into that. And it was a lengthy meeting, but I believe we had a lot of information that was shared and a lot of good ideas. So I appreciate all of the focus groups coming out and actually giving us the ammunition to go in and really put our nose to the grindstone and come up with some great things for the city. So I appreciate all those folks. As far as RFATS goes, we did not have a meeting last month. We will kick off our season this month. So if anybody would care to come, that's going to be on the 26th at noon at the Rock Hill Operations Center. So that will conclude our commission reports. So we'll move into, seeing there's no public comments, we would move into cover approval of minutes. I would need a motion.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to make a motion to approve the special meeting minutes from August 14th, 2025.
I'll second.
Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. I would need another motion for the August 18th, 2025 regular meeting.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from August 18th, 2025.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to some unfinished business, consideration of the second reading of an ordinance 605, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 192 of the city's code ordinance as relates to the fiscal accounting period for the city. To better align with the fiscal calendars of the state and county, city staff is now recommending a change to our fiscal year, shifting it to run from July 1st through June 30th. The proposed ordinance before council is to amend the fiscal year from October 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026, and all future fiscal years will follow the July 1st to June 30 schedule. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 605, an ordinance to amend Chapter 2, Article 5, Section 192 of the city's code, Ordinance 13, as it relates to the fiscal accounting period for the city.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Seeing none, I will call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. A little more unfinished business. This is a consideration of the second reading of ordinance 606, an ordinance to adopt the fiscal year 2025-2026 budgets. This is the second reading of an ordinance necessary to set the budgets for the fiscal year 2025-2026 that were presented by the city manager during the public hearing. The budget is for a 9-month period from October 1 to June 30th as we transition to a fiscal accounting period of July 1 to June 30th in 2026. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 606, an ordinance to adopt the fiscal year 2025-2026 budgets.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. This discussion that was brought forth pertaining to the remaining ARPA funds. This item's up for discussion at the request of Mayor Pro Tem Miller and Councilman Heislip. Take it away, Mayor Pro Tem Miller, if you would.
Thank you. Charlie, can you give me a quick recap of what the total was that was allocated for businesses, what the total is that has been dispersed to those that qualified on the round that we just finished?
So we started with $200,000. I'm fairly certain there were 10 businesses out of the 35 that qualified based on the qualifications that council set forward. Each of those received $10,000. So you've basically got 50% of it left over. You've got $100,000 left over into that was to go to TCUD, barring tonight's discussion.
Okay, so I had wanted to bring it up for a discussion because I think that when we were going through the process of making a decision on how to best allocate these funds, there was an expectation that those funds would be fully utilized by the businesses that qualified. As it is, half of it has not been. And I'd like to get some guidance, probably from a legal standpoint, if there's anything more that we can do, whether that is a grant process of making that available to businesses going forward, maybe changing the qualifications a little bit, or just, I would like that $100,000 to go to our businesses in some shape, way, or fashion.
Yeah, you're supposed to have it designated by a certain date. The problem with the perspective is the design was to assist businesses as they went through the emergency and the COVID process. And that's why y'all set forth the certain parameters when you wanted them to be in existence at the time. And you do have provisions, and a lot of governmental entities did some of that, but they all funded a lot of their government utilities and government projects with the funding. That's just how a lot of it has gone, and that was your fallback. I would have to look forward. I'd have to look to see how much we can do with going forward, because it really doesn't. It's not in line with the underlying purpose, and that was to reimburse for losses.
Well, and I do understand the underlying purpose. However, those funds were not made available or even noticed to the businesses that they were available during that time, or at a time that would have been closer to their use, right? So we have those funds. They were allocated for businesses. So, and I know we've gone through the process of trying to disperse those. I just want to make sure that we are doing our very best to make sure that it goes to what they were supposed to go to.
And I can look into that further. And Charlie may know more about the ARPA funding. A lot of it is accounting, and I'm just not as versed as I am in some of the other municipal areas of the law on that.
The funds have to be committed by December 31st of this year, or they have to be returned. So right now, technically they are committed. They got to be spent by December 31st of 2027. What we have left is the amount for the TCUD projects that we've been talking about with wastewater treatment plants, plus this $100,000 is what we have left. So we've satisfied it from that standpoint. If council wants to have further conversations as far as how else we give it to other businesses, as long as we've got it committed by the 31st of December, then we're still okay. But it's got to be committed by then, or we lose that $100,000, and it will go back. It'll have to go back to, I believe it goes back to the state, and they have to then return it back to the feds.
Charlie, as far as committed, what would be the deadline? Would it be the November meeting or December?
For council action, I would say no later than to give staff time, yes, I would say committed by your November meeting at the absolute latest, depending on what new process council determines. But you'll just need to recognize if it were like the grant thing or whatever that looks like, it's going to have to be a fairly quick turnaround time for businesses. But again, you had 35 businesses that applied. Most of them were disqualified because they either weren't city businesses, actual located in the city, or they had taken other ARPA fund, or had taken other funds related to COVID that they self-reported. We didn't come across any that said, no, we didn't take it, and then found them on a list. They actually told us in their application that they had taken the funds. So that made that part of the analysis work for staff obviously easier. But we had a lot of businesses that do business in TKK, but they aren't located in TKK. They're not headquartered in TKK, as far as a small business. We had some from Clover, some from Waxhaw, things like that. They're small businesses, but they're just not here. So 10 out of your 35 met the qualifications that council had discussed. So if council wants to determine some new qualifications, you absolutely can. But we're going to need to have that nailed down by your October meeting with an award, I would say no later than your December meeting. So your turnaround time for any type of grant process or application process is definitely going to be short.
Charlie, just in the interest of keeping it simple and speeding things along, could we go back and double up? Considering we spent half of the funds on the companies, could we go back and double up for those companies?
I mean, technically you could if that's what council votes on and directs to
They
do.
all met our parameters, they met the dates in question, and, I mean, we've got double the money.
I like that idea. I just don't want to have any companies that are out there that would have applied, but like 10,000 was just like not a threshold for them. So they didn't do that. But if 20,000 was a threshold, maybe they would have applied, and I don't want to disqualify them. So we've had a lot of conversations in regards to doing this, and I appreciate trying to utilize all those funds to go to the businesses. But we've had a lot of conversations. We set up the parameters. We put out the applications. Tons of businesses went off and applied. 10 qualified, that's not up to us. Like 10 qualified, so it was only $100,000. If the extra money went to TCUD and that is an approved use of the funds, I'm fine with that. I would leave it alone. We've already addressed this. We've handled it, and I would like to move on from that.
I would agree.
I would tend to agree with Councilman Carter. I think we identified a pretty specific process on how to qualify businesses for these funds. Not real excited about how long it took us to get there, but I am excited about having the opportunity to fortify businesses that may have suffered during COVID, may have lost business, lost employees, things of that nature. We all know of businesses like that. We own businesses like that. And for the record, we all recused ourselves from taking any of those funds because we wanted to make sure that they went to local businesses here in TKK. I feel like we're revisiting something that we've spent a lot of energy to qualify the process, and I'm comfortable with where we are with the process. I think it's admirable that we're looking into ways to fortify these businesses better and use those funds to those businesses. But we created the parameters, and so we didn't overemphasize a benefit to a small business that $10,000 might mean a tremendous amount to some businesses, might not mean much to other businesses, but we tried to do it equally and fair and equitable, and I'm comfortable with where we are with that.
Any further discussion?
I have a question. So what is staff's direction on this?
Well, I would think that since we have 3 council members that have said that they are fine with the status of handing that $100,000, that pretty much is direction, correct?
Just making sure that I'm clear. I don't want to assume anything on it, so if that's the direction from council, then
I only have
that's-
clarity that there's 2 of us that said that, or.
Well, I'm
Mayor, you
good
want-
with putting it in a T-Cud.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Moving on. We have a consideration of an MOU with the Fort Mill School District related to traffic control services at TEK Elementary. The Fort Mill School District desires to enter into an agreement with the city which would assign a new Class 3 officer to traffic control duties during the arrival and dismissal times, with the school district paying for 100% of the cost and of the salary of this officer. The officer would also serve as an alternate SRO at any of the 3 schools in the city, which should the primary SRO be unavailable on a particular day. This item is before council to consider and approving an MOU. And where this came from, we did not generate this problem. Fort Mill Schools generated this problem, and as always, TKK has been able to step up and to help the school system out. We don't want folks to be in hours of traffic while we're picking up and dropping off students. This was a solution that we came up with. We discussed it with various other cities in our area, and this is something that we felt was an admirable solution and something that we could do here in the city. It also gives us the ability to have an alternate SRO, which our school resource officers are. They're highly beneficial to keeping our kids safe at school. Anything that we can do to keep our kids even more safe at school, and the parents coming to and from, we want to try to facilitate that. And the school board has worked with us. So I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, motion to approve the MOU with the Fort Mill School District as it relates to traffic control services at TEK Elementary School.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to take my hat off to Chief Crosby for the work that you did on this. I know that this isn't an easy project for you and your staff to deal with, and it takes a lot of resources, takes a lot of overtime, takes a lot of people dedicated to the process to make sure that students and parents and drivers are all safe coming in and out of the school. So thank you for everything you did there. Sorry.
Yeah, ditto. Absolutely. And this is fantastic. It's great for the community and great for our students and the parents.
I think too that area, when we have a police officer out there directing traffic, and you've got the blue lights on, that folks are more, they're gonna slow down a little bit more, pay attention a little more, and
Yeah, I don't know what the data is on it, but me coming out of here, people are a lot better behavior going down TK Drive.
absolutely. I leave a
So
little
thank
bit
you.
earlier in the morning, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, when you've got those blue lights on out there, it makes a difference. So thank you, Chief. I appreciate it as well.
And one thing I just want to add, of course, thanks to Chief, great work on that, but, the school district stepped up, when we asked to fund this.
That's right.
And so, the SROs, 60%, Chief, is that right? Okay, so the school district funds one SRO at 60%, and the state's covering the rest of the other SROs. But in this instance, this is, it's really a school district issue, but we want to partner with them. And the fact that the Fort Mill School District was willing to step up and fund this officer so it wouldn't put extra burden on the police department and the residents. So I just want to give a shout out to them for, coming to the table and working with us and coming to a solution.
It's all
Ma'am.
about working together for a solution. Any further discussion?
I think parents are going to be really happy.
Absolutely. Getting in and out quickly. All right, I'll call the question. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay, that will bring us to council comments. If you would, please, Councilman Carter.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody that's here in attendance this evening and everybody that's watching online. We have a couple of new faces in the crowd this evening. That's really cool. You guys part of a special group or anybody? I know I'm calling you guys out. I'm sorry. Government class? Oh, good.
Awesome.
Well, welcome, and thank you guys for being here today. Thank you. This is a pretty quick meeting, so it's that's pretty good. And you picked a great one. That's all I gotta say. So I want to thank the city staff for what you guys do day in and day out to make our city function as well as it does. Thanks to the city and the mayor for the proclamations that they made earlier, which is great stuff that way. I've been driving around the newer sections of TGK and then the original sections of TGK, and our city looks fantastic. It just really does. I want to recognize the TGK Parks and Rec, TGK Public Works, and all the other departments that put work into making our city look really beautiful every single day. If I go to different cities that are surrounding TGK, there's a couple of things that I see. There's a lot of trash. There's a lot of homelessness. There's stuff that you see that you don't see in TGK, and I don't want to take that for granted, and I don't take that for granted every single day when we come here to TGK. So I want to say thank you for everyone that does such a good job of keeping our city amazing. Let's see, there's a groundbreaking at the Grove. That's October 1st. I like the idea from the stormwater and the environmental, the adopt a drain, which would be an awesome idea. So I hope to see that come to fruition and do that because we have a lot of issues and we have a lot of stormwater that gets built up and there's some issues with the drain. So love that. What I do typically is I try and recognize somebody in the evening, and this one is more of a remembrance. We had an officer that passed away a little over a year ago, and it's Lieutenant Lauren Galloway. So her legacy, she's no longer with us and she's gone too soon. Her legacy still lives on in our community, and I really appreciate what Chief Crosby and the TGKPD is doing. They've come up with these commemorative patches that they've given to all the officers, and then like Charlie said earlier, you see the teal ribbons that are around for ovarian cancer. It's recognizing that and giving that a voice and putting that out there so people understand. But there are these commemorative patches that the TGKPD is going to be selling, and please be on the lookout for that. The money is going to go to programs that were near and dear to Lieutenant Galloway's heart, which is Camp Cadet, and then Heroes. Holiday with the Heroes. So just be on the lookout for that, and just want to really recognize Lieutenant Lauren Galloway. She's not forgotten.
Thank you, Councilman Carter. If you would, Councilman Heislip.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll pick up, just reiterate what Councilman Carter just said. Thanks to Chief, the PD, all the city staff, and all the businesses and residents who took time to put out the ribbons and really recognize, remember Lieutenant Galloway, and also bring awareness to ovarian cancer. So thank you to everyone who did that, and of course Lieutenant Galloway still in our thoughts and prayers. We miss her every day. And on that note, also it's been a tough couple weeks here in the country, and not to get into specifics, but we've had we had a local stabbing on a train. We had a public figure assassinated. We had a school shooting, and it seems to me a lot of this comes down to the lack of respect, lack of talking. So TGK, we got a great community. We got elections coming up. Let's keep it civil. Maybe we can be the model for the country where we work together. And there's no need to degrade somebody, but to go to violence it's unacceptable at any level. So just keep that in your mind, your back of your mind. Pray, say a prayer for these families, and that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Heislip. Councilman Shirley, if you would, please, sir.
Thank you. Yes, to kind of springboard off of Councilman Heislip, Yeah, we lost some people recently, and it's painful to see that, to see folks have a simple disagreement with someone's ideology and take it to the extreme that they did. I want to make a special motion, not motion, but just a gesture of honor to the Charlie Kirk family and those that are close to them and the suffering that they're going through. Whether you agree or disagree with his ideology or his philosophy or his faith, or his political values, regardless of who that individual is that has a voice, our God-given right is that voice, and it's protected by the First Amendment, and we all should honor and respect it with each other. And I'm glad to see so many people coming to the table to say so. It was good to see former Mayor Steve Hamilton and his wife here tonight, as they were recipients of one of the proclamations. For those of you that don't know, the trails out along TK Drive are named for former Mayor Steve Hamilton. I want to give a special thanks to those that are still here: Tom Heislip, Thomas Rackley, Ron Kirby, Heather Jones, for throwing your hat in the ring to run for council this year. I know firsthand what a challenge it is to run, and I know also what a challenge it is to win. So hats off to you for having the courage to do it. Do it again, Tom. You've done a good job. And those of you that are running for the first time, good luck to you and all the best. Carmen, also congratulations to you for throwing your hat in the ring to run for mayor. I know that'll be no small task to run or to achieve that, as we've seen Mayor Gray take that on for the last almost 4 years. Last thing for me, there are 8 NFL teams that are still undefeated. One of them is the Bills, and one of them is Eagles. That's right. Thank you.
We're the Panthers. I don't know that we'll get there.
Listen,
Yeah.
you got to have a little fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if you would, please.
Thank you very much. We've all had, I would say, probably about 3 weeks or so of events that have led to a lot of self-reflection and thoughts about community, thoughts about reactions and actions. I thought it was very fitting today that we had a proclamation about our Constitution Day and Constitution Week. Ronald Reagan used the words to describe our United States government as the great American experiment. And I thought that that was very fitting because up until our forefathers wrote the Constitution, most countries were ruled by royalty, or there wasn't that sense of freedom. We were the first country that gave self-government to its people, and it was founded on our Constitution. I think it's just a really beautiful reminder of how long we have been able to self-rule and to rule by that standard and that thought that happened so many years ago. And if we can just go back to the thought and feeling that those forefathers had in setting that guidance to us in those rights that each of us has and each of us are privileged to have, and remember how many people wish that they could have even a portion of that. It's a very sombering thought, but oh my gosh, isn't it also a really amazing thought that we have that privilege? So cheers to the great American experiment, because I think that we're going to be just fine, because we are driven and we are guided by those principles. TKK's fall weather. I'm changing subjects. I'm making it light and bright. Pumpkin and lattes, they're on their way, and there is nothing better than TKK in the fall, except for maybe the spring. And July 4th, and Christmas. So, I mean, seriously, just live here, right? It is. It's every day's a vacation. There's so many wonderful activities coming up with Catawba Fest, the last concert in October, Coffee with a Cop in October, Booze and Ghouls, the Camp Cadet Golf Tournament, all those times that are coming up for us to enjoy our city, for us to enjoy our neighbors, and to really just step forward in that sense of community that we know is part of who we are. Chat with Council this month will be on the 25th at 6:30 p.m. We will still have it at the police station unless Chief Crosby tells me otherwise. And thank you. Thank you for being such an amazing part and being part of this great community that we call home.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. That would bring it to me. We all have had a hard 3 weeks. With Irina Zarutska being killed on the light rail by a man that should have never been out of jail. He had a rap sheet as long as your arm. Should have never been out of jail. We need to hold our judges and our magistrates accountable. And the elected leaders that do not do so should step down, resign. We also had a light in the world killed because he spoke truth, because he spoke Jesus, and because he spoke the Constitution. He was taken too soon. He did this across campuses, across our nation. And Charlie Kirk was a fundamentalist. He wanted to see the best in everyone. He was open to debate. In no stretch of the imagination is it right to commit violence for somebody just speaking their mind. This young man brought hundreds of thousands of children face to face with debate, with ideas. He was a light in a dark world. Silence much too soon. But I will say this. His ministry, although he is gone, and he is sitting next to Jesus right now, his ministry will never die. Last week, there were 850 Turning Point franchises throughout the country in our universities. As of today, there are 32,000 applications for Turning Point franchises to be in schools all across this nation. That is due to a man and his convictions. Let us all be convicted for what is right and what is wrong. Our country was founded on the belief in God. It was founded on ideals and principles that nobody had ever heard of before. And our founding fathers brought that forth in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We are able to celebrate and to sit here tonight having free elections, having free discussion, because men and women have died on the battlefields across this globe to give us that right. The flag behind me is a symbol that has been carried on every battlefield across this globe to ensure that freedom and liberty can ring out throughout the world. Charlie was cut down too soon. I would recommend that you guys, if you don't know about him, read about him, follow his teachings. It will bring you to a brighter day. Chief Hasty, I want to commend you for the ceremony that we had for 9/11. One of the darkest days in the history of our country. Over 3,000 people lost their lives that day, many of which were New York Fire Department, New York Police Department. Those men put on their boots that morning and they had no idea what they were going to encounter that day. They had no idea that they were going to be running into buildings to save thousands of lives, and some of them will lose theirs. it was the worst day that we had in our country's history. I don't mark it as an anniversary. I mark it as another year that we need to never forget what happened that day in that Pennsylvania field, at the World Trade Centers, and at the Pentagon. It is something we will never forget, and Chief, I commend you for never forgetting. Chief Crosby, I'd also like to commend you, sir, for the guys that were there. Folks, our first responders show up, and they're there for us. A lot of broken people. There's a lot of broken people in the world, a lot of broken people here in TK. So I would say we all need to love each other. That was one of the truths that Charlie Kirk preached. We all need to love each other. It's commanded by the Bible, and it's asked by me for the last 4 years. We need to love each other. We share this same piece of dirt. Day in and day out, I see far too many people trying to tear each other apart outside. TK is a special place. It's a special place to where you love your neighbors. You know your neighbors. All of the kids here can walk safely. They can enjoy their lives as children and teenagers. Our people can move freely about, and we don't have to worry about being stabbed to death on a light rail, because we don't have a light rail, number one, but this place is the TK bubble for a reason. It's because of our citizens. It's because of our police department. It's because of our fire department and our staff. We're coming into the fall session. We're coming into Thanksgiving, into Christmas. And I would encourage all of us to reach out to your neighbors. If they don't have somewhere to eat, invite them into your homes. Break bread with them. Get to know them. Because every person that lives here in TK is special. And I love each and every one of you. On Sunday, we had a vigil for Charlie Kirk. It was an inspirational time. Over 400 folks came out. We had dignitaries there. We had a great worship experience. And I was very, very enthusiastic to see 80 to 100 children there. Those kids could have done something else. They could have went and played video games. They could have been playing ball with their friends. But no, they chose to be there at that memorial service for Charlie Kirk to express their love for him and to show solidarity between each other. It was a beautiful service. And I want to thank Cindy Redmond. I want to thank Chase Redmond. I want to thank Michael Enns, Barry Yates. I want to thank our TCPD for providing additional security for us. It was an experience that I'm glad I got to be a part of. And I think that it helped to put the community back together. So, in closing, I would encourage every one of us to love each other. Make sure that if you have someone that needs help, reach out and help them. Whether it be just reaching something off the top shelf for them at the grocery store, or if it's taking a meal to someone. Let's help each other. The only way that we can thwart evil is through love. I appreciate everybody being here tonight. Thank you, council. And with that, we going into executive session?
Is there a reason? There is, okay.
Okay. I would call for motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, motion to enter into executive session for legal advice as it relates to the license agreement for the food and beverage services at the TK Golf Club and Glennon Center.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. We are in executive session.